Hey everyone. So now we come to the so-called iron triangles. This is something you may remember from your government classes in high school. This is an alliance between an interest group, a congressional committee, and bureaucratic agencies. So I've got a chart for you. Don't worry, I've got a chart. We're going to break down what this is on a chart. You're going to love it. Now, issue networks. These are public and private coalitions with experts and officials that exist around an issue that is publicly visible. We are moving away from iron triangles and more towards these issue networks. We are moving from a more closed network to a more open and fluid one, but this actually makes policymaking a lot less predictable. So here is the classic example of the iron triangle. Talking about the iron triangle which existed between defense contractors, Department of Defense, and the Senate and House Armed Services committees. Now you see here that defense contractors gave campaign money to members of Congress. Okay. And then they in turn supported a bigger Department of Defense budget. Then the Department of Defense would send people to become defense contractors, and the cycle would continue. Defense contractors would also give information to the Department of Defense, and that expert information would get to Congress. And then the Congress would express support for particular weapon systems that defense contractors would then be tasked to build. And you're beginning to see how nebulous and strong all of this would be. Now we're moving much more towards this. So take a look. Iron Triangle in the agricultural policy. Here you have the bureaucracy, the Federal Department of Agriculture, the House and Senate, committees on agriculture, and business groups representing farmers and agribusiness. Now we have an issue network that connects multiple bureaucracies, the Department of Congress, or Commerce, Interior, Agriculture, the OMB, to all sorts of interest groups. Look at all of these interest groups. And then you have the specific committees. This is a much, much, much more complicated process, but it is what is dominating our system now. And because there's more power, there's more dynamics, there's more exchanges happening here, this becomes way more difficult to monitor. Now, there have been some attempts to constrain all this, such as the Legislative Transparency and Accountability Act of 2007, which really tried to pull back the curtain on who was giving money to members of Congress and why. There's also a ban on gifts or travel from lobbyists. Lobbyists can't give travel funds to members of Congress. They cannot give gifts to Congress. Congress members cannot accept gifts costing more than $50 and cannot receive more than $100 annually in gifts per source. So that means that if you're going to try and lobby a member of Congress, space it out over five $20 gifts. Lobbyists also must file their activities. They must report on their activities 4 times a year. And now you have to wait 1 to 2 years before becoming a member or before becoming a lobbyist if you are a member of Congress. Otherwise, this would be a revolving door. And the Ethics Commission has been established too. This Ethics Commission, to strengthen confidence in Congress, will evaluate the effectiveness of current congressional ethics requirements and make recommendations for improvements. Shadow lobbying, though, is the product of all of this. It is lobbying in secret. It is lobbying without reporting. What makes a lobbyist? Well, they earn comparatively very little. $2,500 in a 3 month period from lobbying. They usually have more than one lobbying contract. They spend 20% of their time on this contract. And you have to be advocating for a specific position. So just gathering info on members of Congress is not lobbying. So now, this is the official spending on lobbyists. The unofficial total is 3 times that. The number of registered lobbyists is this. Look at how many unregistered lobbyists there are. This is the problem of shadow lobbying. And then we have political action committees. These are specific organizations that pool money from various sources and use it to get candidates elected. So these PACs can take money from all sorts of different sources. There's no limit on how much money they can take, and they can give it to candidates. Now, there are some restrictions. PACs can give money directly to a candidate to fund his here or fund their reelection, but an individual can only give $5,000 per year to a PAC. Corporations cannot contribute directly to a PAC. They can pay for the administrative cost associated with a PAC. So they can't give money to a PAC, but they can pay to keep a PAC alive and moving. There are 3 types of PACs. There are these connected PACs. These are PACs that are established with specific interests. Then non-connected. They're not formed by any corporation. They're formed by people looking to support a specific issue. There is also this new monster, a super PAC. This is a new thing. And it was created by this verdict in Citizens United that said corporations are essentially people, and corporations have freedom of speech. They cannot give money directly to a candidate, but they can spend unlimited money to support a candidate or an issue as long as they don't collaborate with the candidate directly. They can collect unlimited money. They don't have to tell anyone where this money came from. Now, take a look at how much spending is going on in PACs annually. This really explodes in 2012, and though you've seen a little bit of fluctuation, it's been much higher than it used to be. Here, you can see kind of a consistent pattern. Continues to go up, 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 and up. Then, look at all of this mess. Look at this mess. Total of PAC spending comes around $1.3 billion. They're spending them on political parties, unions, trades associations, so on and so on. So these are some discussion questions that I want you guys to consider. Certainly money has a role in politics, but what should it be? Does there need to be a connection? Do we have to pay politicians? Or are these things that or are we creating a problem where only the independently wealthy should be able to run for Congress? Is the answer regulation? And how can we make sure that regulation occurs efficiently and ethically? Think about that. We'll talk about it in class together.